Hi again, RPG here. While Project Erolenis was created no less than 2 years ago, the region itself has been around since 2018. It's honestly amazing to see how much has changed in Erblin within that time frame. However, there are a few things I want to go back and tweak before moving forward. Yes, I am going to be redesigning some more Fakemon in the Erblin region. This has become somewhat of a standard these days, but like I said, this region is a lot older than the series to which these Fakemon reflect. The 5 Fakemon I'm going to redraw today all happen to be Route 1 staples. A while back, I redesigned my Route 1 birds, the Ari family, and now I'm going to give my rodents and bugs the same treatment. So, let's begin. I'll go in numerical order, starting with Hamatot. Hamatot's small, cute, and round design makes it an easy favorite for fans over on my DeviantArt, and I'm happy with it too. So I went into this not wanting to change much about it. That being said, its original render is a bit plain. Granted, it is a normal type, but I feel like there's a way I can make it a bit more interesting. Drawing it in a more energetic pose helped with that. I also wanted to incorporate the tufts of hair it had a little better. Originally, I just slapped them onto the pre-series render, and that kind of change isn't going to cut it anymore. The best way I could fix this was to make it one long mess of fur that extended out towards the back. This took place of the tail in its original form. The rest of the changes were pretty minor, namely the tweaks towards its fur patterns and the addition of tiny whiskers. I know a lot of people get attached to designs like Hamatot and don't like to see them change. But I feel this tweak is for the better. It allows its design to be more consistent with the newer Erblin Fakemon. Hamatot, the hamster Pokemon, a pure normal type. Hamatot can be one tough Pokemon to catch thanks to its small size. Its expandable cheeks add to its cuteness, which is a testament to its popularity among trainers. Now I'll talk about Hamatot, the evolution of Hamatot. This took a bit longer for me to get going. In fact, I started recording the time-lapse during the sketching phase, though the way I sped it up kinda messes with that. Anyway, a lot of the changes made to Hamatot were applied to Hamatot as well. Although the larger whiskers I ended up with looked like a mustache, which I was perfectly okay with. So I kept it and tweaked Hamatot's pose to work with it. I liked where the design was going, but at one point I felt it was missing something. So to replace the little spot on Hamatot's side, I gave it extra furs along its back and shoulders. The original version looks to have hair along its shoulders as well, but the pose and placement didn't really give me that impression. So I fixed that along with adding in some other details off screen before finalizing the look. I also modified its Pokédex entry to go alongside it. Hamatoth, the hamster Pokemon, a pure normal type, and the evolved form of Hamatoth. Hamatoth appears to enjoy grooming its fur, especially its whiskers. This fur helps it shield it from heavy blows, though it will flee if its fur gets too scuffed up in battle. So, these are the new looks for Hamatoth and Hamatoth. What do you think? Overall, these changes I felt were minor, but they still presented themselves nicely. Now I'll move on to the regional bugs of Erblin, the Lumpiller family. This line went through a few more notable changes than with my rodents, but I'll get to them once I'm done with the first stage. Lumpiller, like Hamatoth, was very well received by fans, so I didn't want to change much about it. In fact, I initially planned on just optimizing its look based on a series of traditional sketches I made. This simple design I came up with worked well, although at one point I thought it needed something else. Originally it had hairs sticking out of it, but these hairs were so thin that they felt insignificant to me. So I swapped them out for a set of feelers on both its head and tail, I guess. These also added a new color to the palette that would be carried over throughout the line. Lumpiller, the worm Pokemon, a pure bug type. Lumpiller are voracious by nature and would eat an entire forest if possible. The feelers located on its head and rear allow it to sense potential threats. Now I'll work on Lumpiller's evolutions. Like I said, these two went through more changes than their pre-evolved form, and they were also influenced by these traditional sketches. When it came to redrawing Cladoon, I experimented with it being more different from Lumpiller to further emphasize the process of metamorphosis. This sketch was kind of weird and sinister, but it made for a decent jumping point. And while I committed to this new idea, I did keep the shield shape of the Pokemon intact. I fiddled around with this new Cladoon for a bit, but ended up with a design that matched elements of the sketch with its original appearance. I'm actually pretty pleased with what I got. It still has those OG vibes while having a fresh new look that is of the same quality as the newer Erblin mods. Cladoon, the Cocoon Pokemon, a pure bug type, and the evolved form of Lumpiller. After consuming as much food as it can bear, Lumpiller evolves and falls dormant as Cladoon. Its shell is rock hard, but it is also heavy and prevents it from moving. Time to finish off this video with the final form of Lumpiller, Flintlock. Flintlock is one of few Pokemon that I drew traditionally first, and for the most part, its design withstood the test of time. However, looking back, there were a few issues I had with it. 1. Its original render was way too big. It took up way too much space in the DeviantArt profile I gave it. It was so bad that for this video, I had to pull an image of it from Erolenis episode 1. Yeah, that bad. So that was the biggest thing I wanted to address in this redesign. The second biggest ended up being the colors. While its current color scheme boiled down to different shades of gray, to me it felt like there were too many colors present. Pokemon usually have 3 to 4 colors in their main palette, and this usually doesn't include their mouths or eyes. I wanted to tone down the grays I used and add more color to the design. This ended up forcing me to overhaul a lot of the original version. I drew much more inspiration from the sketch I made and added in new elements such as the new pair of wings. I didn't mind the original wings, but the flame pattern was really fucking tacky, so I got rid of them. The pops of orange carried over from its prevos along with the red were enough to get its fire type across. Flintoff, the Moth Pokemon, a bug fire type, and the evolved form of Cladoon. Flintoff flaps its wings and spreads a flammable powder wherever it goes. It sets this powder ablaze using its internal flame in order to defend itself. And that is going to be the end of the redesigns for today. Whew, it's been a while since I've put more than 3 time lapses in one video. Anyway, I'm happy with how these 5 turned out, but now I'm curious to know if there are any other Fakemon that could use an upgrade. Let me know your thoughts on the new designs, as well as give me your input on what Erblin Fakemon you'd like to see me redraw in the future. The next episode of Erolenis will focus mostly on newer Fakemon I created, and I would like to talk about Erblin's battle mechanic as well. Thank you all for watching, I hope you all had a fine day. Remember to leave a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe for more content. I'd also recommend checking out my Twitter for new stuff. This has been RedParagonG, and until next time, keep on rocking everyone.